Last year we did our first annual New Play Festival, and it was a great success. And in that play festival, we had 4 great plays, and 2 of them were in the final running. But we really ended up, our audiences as well as our staff, loving this new play, Split in 3.
Split in 3 takes place in a fictional town in the Delta of Mississippi in 1969. So as we're breaching the 50th anniversary of some of the major civil rights legislation that was passed in this country, Split in 3 is an incredibly timely piece in light of that anniversary, but also because of the things that are going on in our country right now.
I read a number of books. One in particular was called Yazoo by Willie Morris, who was a journalist from Mississippi and who went back to his hometown during the school integrations. And I said, ooh, the school integrations, this is an interesting backdrop. So if I take women who already live in the Delta, and I still have one character who's not from there, who wouldn't have any idea what happened in the Delta, and certainly not in 1969, and I put them all in that time period, what happens? Then if I add one more thread and they happen to be related and they don't know about each other, then really what happens? And that's where you get drama, of course, all those tensions.
I play Pennympkins, and she is a biracial woman from Chicago who is looking for her white father. She's not as put together, and she's a little odd. She's a little socially awkward.
Get it out, you have to find what? The photo.
As the play goes on, she finds her voice, and she finds her place, because that's essentially what she's looking for, is her own self, her own voice, her own place. And she finds that throughout the course of the play, so as the play goes on, she has more to say.
I immediately connected with the character of Nola. There was just something about her point of view that was truthful and funny and edgy and smart. And one of the things I loved about her most was the economy of language. Nola doesn't need a lot of words to get out what she needs to say. That's good writing.
This is the center of Hades you'd be strolling into.
Tucker Tackett. He's really, in his own way, he's an innocent. He is a product of his environment. So there are a lot of people that are small-minded and, for lack of a better word, racist around him. And so he feels as though he has to play his part to fit in. When we meet him, he has just recently become a deputy. So he was not, he's only been on the job like 6 to 12 months at this point when the play starts. So he then therefore feels as though he's made it, he's here, he has arrived, that he starts to realize, especially with the backdrop of the integration of the schools, realize that he's out of his depths.
So Nell is a sister to Nola. She is a young-ish woman who is a divorcee, who has no children, who has lived her entire life in a very, very, very poor status in Mississippi. She is probably one of the most sensitive characters I think I've ever known, experienced, read, played, but incredibly complicated.
Who in damnation is that?
I play Clifford Barnhill, and I'm Nola and Nell's neighbor. And basically they kind of take care of me, sort of, or they would like to at least. And throughout the show I'm witnessing all of these things in society about what's going on with the segregation, and I'm just wondering why is this happening, And I try to explain to people in my own little quirky way that this doesn't need to happen.
I think one of the things they're going to be most surprised by, given that it's a play set during integration in the Mississippi Delta, is that it's very funny. And it's not funny like Carol Burnett funny. It's funny like these people and the way they see the world is so fascinating, and the wisecracks they come up with or the way they react in a situation both like we would or very different from how we would.
Oh, darling, it's not coffee. I was just soaking the pot to get the burnt things off the bottom.
Everybody enjoys really, really great family drama. I know I do. It makes me feel better about my own family relations. And so in this regard, we have three sisters that are desperately trying to learn how to love and understand and figure out one another.
Go! I did! No, I am talking all the way home.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? No, I'll tidy everything up.
Well, as you know, Florida Rep is an ensemble company. We're an artist-driven organization, and in our 17 years, we produced over 150 professional productions. Our mission is to do a wide variety of plays, and we have been nurturing actors, directors, designers, administrators for now 17 years. But we really haven't nurtured the playwright. We've been sort of taking from the canon of great American plays and doing great classics and hot new plays from Broadway. But it's always been a dream of ours that we would also do a world premiere every year. And now, finally, we enter a very new and exciting chapter in our life.
Working on a brand new play versus a tried and true play is really cool and exciting because we don't know anything. You as an audience don't know anything, have no expectations, have no idea history of who these people are. And so the storytelling is so different because you have to sort of lay it out in a different way.
Daddy got another family, darling. Didn't? I think so.
You're starting to come up with this character for the first time that the world has ever really seen it other than what the playwright has written. You know, you go in between the lines and fill in the white that's on the page instead of just the lines. And it's really just an amazing process.
Daryl Fazio, she's from the South as well, and so she, of course, has created a world that I believe and that I wanted to flesh it out. And so certainly it's great having her in the room to talk about, you know, well, why not say it this way, or what do you mean by that? And whereas you don't always have that luxury, you know, with a play that's not going to be a world premiere, because you certainly don't always have the luxury of a playwright in the room during rehearsal.
This flower ain't for you. You think it is, but it ain't.
It's for your mama.
Justin directs the way I write. He comes from the character first, and he works from the inside out. And there is no movement, there is no choice that is made that does not come from an honest, authentic place. Here, whatever it is for the character in that moment.
The one thing I love about Justin as a director is he's a storyteller. He likes to stop in the middle of rehearsal and talk about a story. That's a Southern thing. People sitting around kitchens telling stories. And so he brought that sensibility to the rehearsal room. He never made us feel like, okay, we don't have time. We don't have time. We need to work. We need to work. He would always stop. Oh, this reminds me of a good story.
Penny?
We did a reading of it last May as part of Florida Rep's first play lab, and that was, you know, a day and a half of rehearsal, and then presenting it in front of an audience and getting feedback from the audience as well as getting feedback from the actors. Bob and Jason, and thank you to all the patrons who were there and championed the play, decided this was the play that they would produce.
It's been very, very fun watching the audience the last couple days during previews because, again, we don't know, nobody knows this story, okay? So we're like, I hope they're not going to be like, okay, well, what's happening, or okay, whatever. And what has actually happened is the audiences they sit on the edge of their seats like this. Like, there was 3 people in the front row last night that were like this.
You think you know. You think you know what I should do, where I should be. At home, I think I'm a white girl, even before I knew I was half one. Working for all those other white folk scientists, telling myself
huge house, 300 plus people in the house, and you're doing the scene on stage, and suddenly you realize, like, I think everybody might have gotten up and left. It is dead quiet. And then a funny line happens, and it's like, rah!
So my hope is that the audience is going to experience an electrified evening. It's an evening that will be filled with drama, but a lot of laughter. These characters, they desperately try to find the positive in their life because they don't have much else to hang their hope on.
There are all types of people in all races and backgrounds and classes, and that's what I think this play shows, is just because you are of a certain race does not put you in this category of how that race is supposed to be perceived. And I love that, because that is the times we live in today.
This is, especially now, I mean, race is very much a current topic, as it should be, and should be for quite some time. It kind of, you know, is coming back up. So I love the fact that Florida Rep is doing something that's a little racy or a little edgy.
Didn't think you had a sense of humor.
People tell me I don't.
The hood?
Don't do that.
It needs to be thought about. It needs to be discussed, and I feel very passionate about that. I mean, this is not. This is something that really happened, but it's not over. I mean, it's not over by a long shot, and so I think that this will get conversations going.
The only way you can change the world is one person at a time, and it has to come from within. And the only way for it to come within is for that person to be exposed to it, and then they make the decision to do it. But you can't change somebody. All you can do is present information, and hopefully they'll see the right path for themselves.
I love that Maya Angelou quote, if you don't know better, you can't do better. And that's really written in the front of my script for Nell. She doesn't know better. So if, in my dream of dreams, there's somebody in the audience who maybe just doesn't know better, then maybe Nell can shine a light on it so they can do better.
I'm very proud of our audiences for embracing this new journey, and I'm excited about the future, about all the new plays we'll be doing, because this is not something that's a one-year wonder, but it's something that we will be doing every year from now on in, and it's sort of like Florida Rep is growing up. And we're excited to be this new adult that will be taking on new plays.
There we go, there we go.
You supposed to get after him for it?
Sheriff ain't said so yet.
His head was just full. Then we'd ask him about why the sky is blue or fire is hot. What does she want? Our lovely estate?
She put alcohol in it.
Ooh, it burns all the way down!
Fine, yes! Yes!
Please, do not talk like that when she gets here. And what is that? Nola? It's just the way you talk.
The way you talk.
We got nothing. Well, she can see that now. Well, what is wrong